welcome to the show. I'm Atika Farooqui. I'm sure you remember that dialogue from an Amir Khan movie where he says कि बेटा काबिल बनो काबिल, कामयाबी झक मार के तुम्हारे पीछे भागेगी. इसलिए क्योंकि शेक्सपियर ने भी कहा था What's in a name? अगर इंसान का काम अच्छा हो तो उसकी शक्ल भी अच्छी लगने लगती है और उसका नाम भी अच्छा लगने लगता है. One person who literally personifies this adage is Raj Kumar Rao.
Thank you so much.
Raj, you look so handsome to me.
Thanks.
You look so dashing because your filmography is something that has really touched my heart as a viewer.
Oh, thank you.
आपने अपने काम से कमाल किया है.
Thank you so much. So kind of you. Thank you. So kind of you.
So you know, I was shooting with Karan Johar on the sets of Coffee with Karan, and Raj is working with Karan. Raj was shooting in Yash Raj Studios, और वो आए और Karan से मिले and they were talking like close friends. That visual is such an important visual for the industry. An actor like you and a glamorous filmmaker like him, it's about time that the two had to meet.
Yeah.
है ना? What is that film about and what was that conversation? सुनाई नहीं दिया मुझे.
So we're doing a film together called Mr. and Mrs. Mahi. It's been directed by Sharan, who directed Gunjan before this. It's me and Janvi Kapoor. It's a beautiful story it's a coming of age story of very aspiring. It's a relationship drama also, I would say, but a story that I believed in. I believe in, and that story I would like to tell. And so Karan called me, and he told me about the story. He wanted to meet Sharan, and I met Sharan, and I really like Gunjan. Sharan, I think, is a very sensible filmmaker. So we are actually in the middle of shoot for that film. We'll be starting our next kid, so that is happening. And the conversation, of course, was regarding how he was. He'll be watching whatever we have shot till date today, I think. And then he said, I would call you, and I'm very excited. Sharan has really good things to talk about you.
Nice.
So yeah, like that.
But it's about time that filmmakers like Karan Johar and actors like you, trained actors such as you, who've trained from FTII or NSD, take cinema very seriously. Hero बनने नहीं आए, actor बनने आए हैं. It's about time that they had to meet. And it had to be a 50-50 partnership. So more than the film, I was so impressed by the visual that we as viewers are in for good times. And I want to ask you, when did that happen? That filmmakers like Karan Johar or a big production house like T-Series or big producers started to view you as somebody like यार ये actor तो हमारे filmography में होना चाहिए.
Thank you. I wish सब ऐसे ही सोचे. But my first film LSD was with Atika Kapoor. Balaji motion pictures, all Balaji at that time. So it started with that only. My second film was also with her, and then UTV happened with Kai Poche and Shahid. So I was always working with these big studios, in some lovely stories, wonderful stories. But now I think after Bareilly and Stree, things changed much more for me, and they started thinking that we would also like to collaborate with him, and it was good collaboration. Like I'm doing a lot of films with Bhushan sir, with T-Series. There's Bheed with Anubhav sir. There's another film with Hansal sir that will be happening.
Vasan Bala.
Vasan Bala, that's a Netflix original with Matchbox. There is a series with Raj and DK. There's Mr. and Mrs. Mahi. So exciting work happening. And that's exactly what I always wanted to do.
You wanted to do that
to
only.
Tell good stories and to also somewhere push myself as an actor to create wonderful characters.
When you talk about diversity, I don't know मैं कैसे इसको कहूँ. हिंदी सिनेमा का सबसे मशहूर नाम किसी हीरो का वो राज है, लेकिन जब असली राज आया तो वो राज बनना नहीं चाहता. The diversity in your career is so huge a factor that I can't associate any one imagery with you. आप लूडो में लंबे लंबे बाल थे और जो मोहल्ले वाला डांस होता है ना वो करते हैं. क्वीन में जब भी मैं थोड़ा लो फील कर रही होती हूँ, मैं पता नहीं क्यों क्वीन निकाल के देखती हूँ. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि किसी लड़की के लिए वो एक बड़ी अच्छी फिल्म है.
बिल्कुल.
उसके ईगो को बूस्ट करने के लिए, उसको कॉन्फिडेंस देने के लिए. उसमें you actually play the loser. I mean, he doesn't get the girl, but I felt for you. I felt for you as much as I felt for the leading lady. And then there are so many films in which, you know, हम लोग gender diversity की बात भी कर रहे थे, where I was telling him एक बहुत बड़ा event हो रहा है औरतों पे, लेकिन बात इनसे करनी चाहिए because he has championed that cause. So the diversity is so much that I can't give any one line to your image. कि शाहरुख ऐसे थे, राजेश खन्ना ऐसे थे, या आमिर परफेक्शनिस्ट हैं, या सलमान ऐसे हैं, लेकिन राज कैसे हैं ये मैं एक लाइन में नहीं बयां कर सकती अलावा this one word. Is this a boon or a bane also in some way?
No, I take it as a compliment. That's exactly what I want to be. I don't want people to, relate me with only one genre or one image. कि राज जो है वो ना intense drama बहुत अच्छे करता है. I think I want to do everything. Luckily, I'm doing now a little bit of action also in Hit, the first case. I want to really push myself. As I said, my only point of being an actor is to explore different genres, to try and play different characters, or if with the same character also, maybe how I can make them different by my work and how I prepare for them. Like Badhaido also is a cop and Hit also is a cop, but they are two different cops altogether. They're not at all similar.
Yeah.
So I think that's what excites me as an actor. That's the only fun of I see being an actor, where you can portray different characters and not put yourself in a bracket कि यार ये लोगों को अच्छा लगता है जब मैं ऐसा करता हूँ, तो let me just keep doing it.
Yeah.
That comes from a very corrupt thought. It's then your art doesn't remain pure.
It doesn't remain.
It's a mix of corruption.
But बॉम्बे तो लोग आते हैं पैसे कमाने, हाँ, और
पैसे
आप
आ जाते हैं.
पैसे आ जाते हैं.
पैसे बाय प्रोडक्ट है.
Yeah.
I think पैसे, आप सिर्फ पैसों के पीछे भागोगे तो फिर काम के लिए कोई आपको याद नहीं रखेगा. मे बी शायद पैसे आ जाएंगे but nobody will remember you. Yeah, so I think पैसे doesn't matter. I give this example a lot of times. Like Godfather came in 1972, and I would ask you how much money it made at the box office.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
But I don't meet anybody who hasn't watched that film.
Even now people are watching it. So I think some films are meant for life.
Yeah.
And cinema especially can be watched even after 100 years.
Yeah.
Like सत्यजीत रे सर की फिल्म हम आज भी देखते हैं, आज भी फिल्म स्कूल्स में दिखाई जाती है, अवेलेबल है OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे, even after what 70-80 years.
That's true.
Yeah.
ये इमोशन जो होता है ना, ये एक तो दिल्ली के साथ काफी जुड़ा रहता है. फॉर सम रीजन वो जो एक कुरुक्षेत्र पानीपत का जो एरिया है ना, जहाँ लड़ाइयाँ लड़ी गई हैं सर्वाइवल की, वहाँ पे लोगों के अंदर आज भी आइडियोलॉजी बहुत है. तिग्मांशु धूलिया के साथ, और थिएटर के लोगों में ये एक बात है, तिग्मांशु धूलिया के साथ मैंने कॉन्वर्सेशन किया था, उन्होंने मुझे बोला मैं भांड नहीं हूँ, मैं यहाँ इतिहास बनाने आया था, पैसे कमाने नहीं. पैसे तो आ जाएंगे, नहीं भी आएंगे तो भी चलेगा. सो समवेयर यू लाइक दिस एटीट्यूड इन पीपल, क्योंकि ये बहुत रेयर है. When you go back to Gurugram, where you're from, लोग कैसे नज़र से देखते हैं आपको?
बहुत प्यार करते हैं, of course. पर मैं जब घर जाता हूँ तो मैं घर वालों को बोलता हूँ कि आप ज़्यादा लोगों को बताओ मत.
अच्छा.
बिकॉज मैं आपके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करने आया हूँ, अपने पुराने दोस्तों से मिलने आया हूँ, अपने पुराने टीचर से मिलने आया हूँ. फिर जब भी ऑफकोर्स अमूमन पता लग ही जाता है तो बहुत प्यार मिलता है. ऑफकोर्स उनको लगता है कि अपना कोई है जो फिल्म्स में काम कर रहा है, और वो मुझे आज भी वैसे ट्रीट करते हैं जैसे पहले ट्रीट करते थे. स्पेशली मेरे जो स्कूल फ्रेंड्स हैं, हम लोग का जो ग्रुप है वो हम सब अभी भी वैसे ही है जैसे हम पहले थे. वैसे ही एक दूसरे को उन्हीं नामों से बुलाते हैं. उतना ही प्यार है.
क्या नाम है आपका?
मुझे लोग राजू कहते हैं, राज कहते हैं, अलग अलग नामों से बुलाते हैं.
अच्छा.
तो आई थिंक वो बहुत ज़रूरी है, अपनी रूट से जुड़े रहना बहुत ज़रूरी है.
वो मैं देखती हूँ आपके अंदर कि आप काम करके यू गो बैक टू योर शेल. वो एक छोटी सी एक खूबसूरत दुनिया होती है जिसमें एक एक्टर पिक्चरें देखता है, अपने लोगों से बात करता है.
एकदम सही पकड़ा आपने. Exactly, I do that. I live a very normal life. I'm very happy with my very close circuit of people. जहाँ पे हम शाम को मिलते हैं, हंसी मजाक करते हैं, खाना खाते हैं, अच्छा दुनिया भर की बातें करते हैं, स्टूपिड जोक्स पे हंसते हैं, सिनेमा डिस्कस करते हैं, पॉलिटिक्स डिस्कस करते हैं, और वापस नेक्स्ट डे काम पे चले जाते हैं.
I know. थिएटर में ऐसा होता था कि हम लोग बहुत बड़े बड़े, मैंने ये शो कर दिया, मैंने वो कर दिया, तो हम जब वापस जाते थे तो हमारे थिएटर डायरेक्टर कहते थे वो छोड़ो, ये बताओ मुसोलिनी को पढ़े हो, हिटलर को पढ़े हो, गोदान पढ़ी तुमने, नहीं पढ़ी, अरे जाओ फिर क्या किया. यू नो, सो दैट इज एक वर्ल्ड वो भी है. सो यू स्टिल, एक पैर आपका आज भी उसी दुनिया में है, सादगी और लर्निंग की दुनिया में.
लर्निंग की दुनिया में मैं बहुत कंटेंट देखता हूँ. मैं लॉकडाउन के दौरान आई एक्चुअली जॉइन कपल ऑफ ऑनलाइन एक्टिंग क्लासेस.
You did?
हाँ कुछ है. masterclass.com करके एक वेबसाइट है जहाँ पर एक्टिंग क्लासेस है बाय सम ग्रेट्स, एंड डायरेक्शन क्लासेस है, फिल्म मेकिंग है, स्टोरी राइटिंग है. तो मैंने स्क्रीन प्ले का एक कोर्स किया, मैंने उसमें 3 एक्टिंग क्लासेस ज्वाइन की अलग एक्टर्स के साथ. तो उनका एक पूरा कोर्स है, कुछ 18-20 एपिसोड का.
Wonderful.
So it's very important to learn and because nobody can say I know everything.
Yes.
That अभी तो मुझे आता है. I think हर फिल्म आपको एक नया चैलेंज देती है. हर फिल्म से पहले मैं उतना ही घबराता हूँ, उतना ही नर्वस होता हूँ फर्स्ट डे से पहले कि पता नहीं ये वाली कैसे होगी या कैसे होगा. Because you prepare a lot, but देखो जब वो आप जब कैमरा के सामने जाते हैं तो एक वो नर्वसनेस हमेशा रहती है.
वो हमेशा होनी चाहिए.
वो है.
That says that you're serious about your job and the work is exciting, still exciting. राज की फिल्म रिलीज हो रही है 15 जुलाई and it's called Hit the First Case. मैंने जब उसका ट्रेलर देखा, मैंने कई बार देखा बिकॉज पहली बार में मैं उसको पूरी तरह एब्जॉर्ब नहीं कर पाई. इट वॉज सो इंटेंस, इट हैड सो मेनी लेयर्स एंड यू एज एन एक्टर आपको तो दावत मिल गई. योर कैरेक्टर हैज PTSD, पोस्ट ट्रॉमेटिक स्ट्रेस डिसऑर्डर. ही इज अ कॉप. वो एक औरत के तलाश रहा है, शायद वो अपनी बीवी को भी खो देता है उसी. Amazing, wow, and it is in a Telugu hit Telugu film.
Yeah, it's an official remake of the Telugu hit.
Tell me more.
It's been directed by the same director, Shailesh Kolanu, जिन्होंने तेलुगु वाली भी बनाई थी. And when I was never really fond of remakes. I still am not.
Yeah.
I want to tell original stories. So I was offered remakes right, left, and center. And when I was in the lockdown, all of us were in the lockdown, so we were anyways watching a lot of content. At that time, the team approached me saying that there's this film and they want to make it in Hindi. And Shailesh said only if Raj would do the part, I would make it in Hindi. Otherwise, I'm not making it. I said, oh, wow, somebody's saying such a big thing. I would like to watch the film, watch his film, watch his work. And then I saw the film, and I really enjoyed it. It was very intriguing.
Yes.
I was totally hooked. Very well written, very well executed. I thought, it's a good story to be told in Hindi. And I spoke to Shailesh, and he said, because I wanted to know his perspective, because if it's just a copy paste, it gets very boring for all of us, especially for him. I asked him, how do you see it now in Hindi, that you want to make it in Hindi? He said, and he told me that he wants to have a fresh take on the Hindi one. He wants to change a couple of things. Also because he made that one, so he knew the mistakes that he did there, so he could rectify those mistakes here. And so he changed a lot of things in the screenplay. The treatment is very different. The performances are obviously very, very different. The BGM, it's a new film. It feels like a fresh film. And I saw the original one long back for the first time, and that was the only time I saw it. And now recently I saw our film, and I could see that it looks like a different film, and it's bigger, and if I can say with utmost humility, it is slightly better.
Wow. But to play a character who has PTSD is very traumatic.
It is.
Even I had PTSD.
Oh, okay.
And PTSD, अगर आप actor हैं और वो भी trained actor हैं, because you get into the skin of the character, it must have been emotionally very taxing. Traumatic, yes.
Yeah, it is. It can get physically and mentally very, very taxing. Especially also he's somebody who gets these panic attacks quite often whenever something triggers. And there are things in the film which really triggers him. Of course I did a lot of research. I read a lot about it. I saw some reference videos and some interviews of people that have gone through this. And my director is a doctor himself, Dr. Shailesh Kolanu.
Oh, okay.
So and he has
like a PhD doctor or a doctor?
PhD doctor.
Okay.
And otherwise also he was a doctor, both. And he has researched a lot while making this film. He had more than 300 crime cases, true, like real life crime cases, and he picked up some important things from those cases and put everything in one film.
Wonderful.
So everything that you see in the film has actually happened somewhere. And
Wonderful.
how he beautifully has knitted this story together. I think it's his genius only. So I think those scenes were, as you said, they were pretty tiring for me, both physically and mentally. Because I had no experience of that, and so I had to really take a lot of references from people that I spoke with, and then reference videos of what actually happens. And luckily these days there's so much material available online that you can actually pick few things up and then put in your own imagination, and then it comes out from there.
Wonderful. Quickly, Raj, after the pandemic now, even a housewife has a better take on content.
Oh yeah.
She has watched so much in the last 2 years. The emotional quotient, the intelligence quotient, everything has gone up. You as actors are catering to much more intelligent audience now. Do you see it as a challenge?
It's a good challenge to have.
Yeah.
When people who gonna notice your work and watch your work and then judge it, if they are intelligent, they are
Do they write
educated.
to you? Do they write to you?
Yeah, they do. They
people
do.
write
Yeah, yeah,
you?
yeah. Of course, of course. For Badai Do, I got so much of love from everywhere, all
Yeah.
around the world.
Yeah.
Especially after when it released on Netflix.
Yes.
So it was great. I think every strata of the society, educated and the mass,
Yes.
everybody gave so much of love to Badai Do. So it's important, I think, to make films for
And you
every
take
kind of an
criticism
audience.
that you get from viewers?
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
points
do.
that
I
they
do, absolutely. Also, I'm a very honest critic of my work because I'm, as you said, you know, I've learned filmmaking, I've learned acting, so I know, you know, what's right and what's wrong. You know, I can make out while watching a film. I can make it out. So for me, when I see my work, I know that this is right and this is wrong,
Wrong.
and this is what could have been better. And sometimes, you know, you get to talk to your director and you get that opportunity where you can tell him,
Yes.
you can give your concrete feedback, and
Yeah.
sometimes they take it
Yeah.
for the betterment of the film. So I think it's always very important to be very honest about your own
Yes.
work first,
Yes, yes.
and not to be in that bubble where three people are saying, "Ke sir ji aap hi ho."
हाँ सर आप तो अरे
You have to be like.
कमाल कर दिया
"Nah,
सर
nahin,
आपने.
nahin,
You
nahin."
can't be surrounded by yes men.
You cannot. I think that's the
वो
death
वो
of an
देते हैं
artist.
आपको.
That's the death of an artist.
Death of an artist.
Yeah.
You know, आपने पैंडेमिक में फिर से सीखी अपनी आर्ट. FTII से आप हैं. मुझे पता नहीं क्यों ट्रेंड एक्टर्स से बड़ा फैसिनेशन होता है. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि कोई अगर इतना सीरियस हो अपने क्राफ्ट के बारे में. As an actor, as a trained actor, what are the 5 films that you think every person must watch?
Okay. Garam Hawa.
Garam
For
Hawa.
Balraj Sahni's sir's work. The Godfather.
You got it.
Forrest Gump, Sophie's Choice, and there's so many. I'm thinking to get the right one. I think Kramer versus Kramer.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
For the emotional
For the
quotient
emotion,
of the
yeah.
film.
For the relationship drama, how to portray it right, what
Yes.
actually happens.
What actually happens.
Yeah.
So true. Raja Hindustan. No. Raja ko, which was that film? Raja.
Akele Hum Akele
Akele Hum Akele Tum was
yeah.
inspired by
Yeah.
Kramer versus Kramer. What are the 5 films that every actor must watch?
Every actor was
हाँ,
watched.
पाप है ना देखना इनको.
Any film by Irfan sir. Yeah. Especially I think Maqbool and Namesake.
Yes.
I would say. Godfather. I think to see the brilliance of Brando, Pacino, and De Niro together. Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Any film of Meryl Streep. And There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
You know, when you said Irfan Khan, I very clearly remember one scene from Maqbool जो शायद विशाल सर ने ना डायरेक्ट की होती तो उस पर बड़ा क्रिटिसिज्म मिलता, वेयर वो बंदूक तान के खड़ी हो जाती है, कहती है पहले बोलो मेरी जान.
Correct.
तो कहता है बंदूक चल जाएगी दे दे, कहती है नहीं पहले बोलो मेरी जान, और वो कहता है मेरी जान, प्यार से बोलो मेरी जान, और वो कहता है मेरी जान, नहीं ठीक से बोलो मेरी जान, बंदूक दे देता है और जोर से थप्पड़ मारता है. You know, this violence in romance is another level of romance.
Yeah.
Why don't you try it on screen?
I need to have a director like Vishal sir, and I need to have that kind of a
You know,
story.
that passionate
Yeah.
of 40s love story,
Yeah.
mature love story.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
you can do that very well.
Yeah, in a couple of years, I would love to do that.
है ना?
But yeah, I'm a big fan of relationship dramas myself.
है ना?
Yeah, like Maqbool, this scene, or Namesake, the camaraderie between Tabu ma'am and Irfan sir's
Yes.
characters. It's beautiful. I think we don't really make good relationship
तो
dramas.
इरफान सर के जाने के बाद हम लोग कई बार ये डिस्कशन करते हैं राज कि कई ऐसी स्क्रिप्ट हैं जो पहले लिखी जा रही थी बिकॉज ही वाज अलाइव.
Correct, उनके
पीपल
लिए
आर नॉट
right.
राइटिंग इट बिकॉज कह रहे हैं कैसे करेगा एक्टर.
I was just telling someone today morning only, everybody is replaceable, I feel here. He's the only one who was
Who can't be
irreplaceable.
replaced.
Yeah, कि वो ये फिल्म जो उनके लिए लिखी गई ना, वो यही कर सकते थे और कोई नहीं.
तो एक्टर के ये आपको ये चैलेंज लेना चाहिए. आई थिंक
I would love to. I'm dying to do a film like a Revolutionary Road or a marriage story. What amazing stories. What actually happens in a relationship. It's not only, hunky dory every time. No, it's not. Yeah.
Where a Don has a romantic side to him too.
Yeah.
Where a criminal has a softer side to
Correct.
him too.
Correct.
ये सब grey areas हैं जो सिर्फ सिनेमा ही ठीक से बता सकता है.
That's
Otherwise you'll be watching news channels only
That's
and crime shows only, right?
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
cinema gives to us. That there is a
Yeah.
grey in everything.
There is. We all agree, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Raj, you chased Dibakar Banerjee for your first film,
Yeah.
Love, Sex और धोखा, जिसमें आपको पता लगा था, ये पुणे में थे, उन्होंने अखबार पढ़ा, उसमें लिखा था कि वो फ्रेशर्स कास्ट कर रहे हैं, तो ये लग गए, यहाँ तक लग गए कि असिस्टेंट ने बोला अच्छा यार तुम एडिशन दे ही दो. So 2010
10.
to 2022, what is that one thing that has totally changed the scenario? कोई एक ऐसा सीन बताइए जब किसी डायरेक्टर ने आपको फोन किया हो, चेस किया हो, नहीं राज तू नहीं करेगा तो मैं नहीं करूंगा. I forget debutant director like Shailesh, but somebody who's
A lot of times it has happened where my directors told me okay, they wrote the story, they wrote the script thinking of me, like Harsh in Badhai Do. No, not many people know it, but for the first time when we met, and he's also from the institute, so we share that that friendship. So when he told me, I already signed another film which was talking about LGBTQI community, and I told him, Harsh, it's a great story, but I'm already doing one, and he was heartbroken. That is something which he told me later. Now we are like brothers, and he said, यार हमने ना सिर्फ तुझे सोच के लिखी थी.
अरे वाह.
एक सीन के ये राज जब करेगा तो क्या करेगा, यार मतलब दिल ही टूट गया था हमारा. तो मिलेगा तब क्या करेंगे,
कैसा लगता होगा ना राज,
मतलब क्या करेंगे अभी स्टोरी का. And then of course universe had it, so I came back and we ended up making that film. With Newton, Amit told me when he was writing it, he was thinking of how I would do it. Like Vikram sir, Trapped, it happened. So I think it feels great, like Bose.
Okay.
So it feels great when people tell me कि यार ये ना तुम ही सोच के लिखी है और ये तुम ही करनी है.
And lastly, Kamal Hassan once told me that Shah Rukh did Hey Ram, his film, only for a wristwatch. He didn't take any money. Has there been any such liaison between you and some director where you did a film only for the story and said नहीं चाहिए मुझे?
Trapped, I did it for free.
Yeah.
I didn't charge a single money for Trapped.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted to work with Vikram sir, Vikram Motwani, and also the story. I thought किस एक्टर को ये इतना करियर में अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है where the whole film is about you. It's a surviving drama.
Yes.
So Trapped is like my castaway.
और फीस भी नहीं ली और फिर फिल्म में आपको भूखा भी रखा.
करेक्ट, उसका भी खर्चा बच गया, खाना भी नहीं खिलाना एक्टर को.
Raj, you are such a delicious person, such a delicious actor on screen.
Thank you.
I can't get enough of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being so serious about the craft. We really need people like you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
News18 Urdu की खास